All right, thank you for joining us. I'm with my good pal Rhea, the Glimmering Harpy on X. Still pumping out shorts and content, so go follow her there. And we kind of like to do this every once in a while for a movie we're looking forward to. I was looking forward to this more than Rhea. I had for this is for Tron Ares. And if you're new to the channel, please like, subscribe, and comment, and get your comments in too. We want to know what you think about Tron Ares. And this is a spoiler video. So I was looking forward to it. We did a trailer reaction together. We were both kind of underwhelmed by the trailer, and I said it didn't do enough to sell it to the modern audiences. Um, so I do not know if Rhea liked it at all. I I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure with this one. I do know the soundtrack is really good. I do know there's some points in there, especially with like the jokes about a certain band that we both kind of like, Depeche Mode. I like that part of it. I love the movie. I gave it a 9 out of 10. I thought it was a lot of fun. Great AI story. The stakes were higher than the other Tron movies because the other Tron movies, I don't I don't think Ray watched the first two, but they're more like in the program world. This is the first time there's a lot of high stakes in the real world where the program's going to the real world. That's the big premise of the movie, and how that's going to impact the real world and characters in the real world and the stakes. And I think they delivered there. I thought the villains were really good. It's a little darker than I thought it was going to be in certain points too. And maybe I don't know, that listening to the Nine Inch Nails Tron soundtrack every day for like 2 weeks maybe got me like super into it because I loved hearing the Tron soundtrack with it, and I was pleasantly surprised by Jared Leto too. Like I'm a casual fan of his. I enjoy some of his work. I'm not like a super fan, but I know a lot of people he just doesn't do it for them when he's in a big IP movie. And I really enjoy it, especially now that we're gonna do spoilers where it leaves off, because I thought, Ray, and remember I said this, I think it's gonna be the last Tron movie. Now I was like, oh, now we got a franchise because it ends where there's things happening in the real world and the program world, and I want to see what happens next. Now, I haven't even been looking at the box office numbers. Obviously, it's got to make money to continue on, but I was super hyped. Now, Rhea, crush me, my dreams of what you thought. No, I don't know. What did you think of Tron Ares? Going in fresh too, because I'm interested to see, because you don't have a lot of Tron fandom or experience. All right, let it rip. Whatever you want to say it.
Yeah, I liked the movie,
Okay.
and I think it did a good job for folks who have no prior knowledge of Tron, like I did. I mean, I'm aware of it as a thing that exists as an IP, but I really never really had interest in anything about it because by the time I started getting more into, um, I guess like post civilization, post apocalyptic, and cyberpunk esque uh, thematic media,
Mhm.
like TV shows and movies. Tron always felt like a little bit like Blade Runner. Like even though
Mhm.
those are like the ones that started the whole genre or are big components of that. As time went on, more and more iterations of of those themes came out, and I was more familiar with the later um,
Mhm.
content within that genre or that subgenre, and never really got into the older stuff. So that's where I kind of missed the boat on Tron. It was just a generational gap. So going into Tron Ares, I had really low
I did too.
expectations.
I did too.
Yeah, it just looked like another generic cyberpunk, sort of
Mhm.
movie. The Nine Inch Nails soundtrack though was really good. Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross did a great job, and that was probably the biggest selling point for the movie for me. Whenever the soundtrack would play, just during like sweeping shots of the uh, the grid world, the digital
Mhm.
world, and when it would there were action scenes in the real world, those were definitely some of like the more visual spectacle moments that made the film stand out to me. And I did like the character performances from Leto, Jodie Turner Smith, his
Oh yeah, she
his
was great.
partner in the film, who becomes his enemy later on. I really liked Evan Peters. I think
Yes.
his acting was my favorite. He was like my
Yes.
favorite character in the movie for sure. And let me see. The protagonist, I think I think her name was
Eve.
Emma or Eve.
I think it
Yeah.
was Eve. Yeah.
Yeah, her character was fine, but she wasn't like too super interesting, but
Yeah.
I liked her story about continuing on her sister's legacy and finishing what her sister set out to do, as far as like finding the permanence or permanence, whatever code to like bring life in the digital world over to the real world and actually allow it to exist. I think there's this theme in the movie, or this plot point in the movie, where Evan Peters and his character and the female protagonist, they're both CEOs of rival companies, and they're both in pursuit of this code to basically make digital life permanent in the real world. And Evan Peters' character can only make a code work for like 29 minutes. So Eve, her sister, um, established this company that was basically on the verge, in the footsteps of Jeff Bridges's character from another movie. I guess it's established that he created this code in the past. I didn't watch any of the past movies, so I couldn't tell you. But I think Ares did a good job at least laying the foundation for like, this is who Jeff Bridges is in the past. This is what he did. Now Eve's
Mhm.
sister, pursued his dream, and she was very close to fulfilling it, but she unfortunately passed away due to a sickness. So then her sister followed through with her discoveries and found the code, and that's pretty much the I guess like the what is the MacGuffin of the movie. Everyone's in pursuit or trying to retain this code to make
Mhm.
digital life permanent in the real world. And what I really liked was that Ares, Leto's character, um, something within his interaction with Evan Peters' character, by being called expendable, something about that in his programming somehow made him sentient to not liking or like not having a feeling of discontent with being called expendable. So then that kind of leads him to rebel against Evan Peters, and he gets contact with the female protagonist, who actually has empathy towards him, potentially being hurt, or uh, just he felt that this person is sincere, and he felt like she has like good intentions, as far as like uh, the uh, the digital code being something that she has access to, because she finished the discovery of what the code is and is able to make digital life permanent in the real world. So he kind of becomes allies with her. He would like to live in the real world and no longer be a digital program, and she wants to protect the code from getting in the hands of Evan Peters' character. So then that's kind of the chase of the
Mhm.
movie. I actually really liked that. I felt like there were real stakes involved, and
Yeah.
uh, uh, Evan Peters' character definitely just flew too close to the sun, as far as
Yes.
wanting to chase after ambition and become this figurehead of being like the biggest, most advanced tech um, uh, brand company leader in the world, and he's even willing to um, expend human life in the real world in order to get there.
Yes.
And that's kind of where I was like, okay, you're unhinged. Like you're
Yeah.
um, there's no saving you at this point. So I liked that his character was just pure evil, like nothing redeemable about him. And what I liked was that it was different from other movies where they try to make the antagonist more relatable.
Hmm.
And um, there was a moment where Evan Peters's character, because his AI programs rebelled against him as far as like following through with his original um, plan to pursue the permanence code. Um, uh, they turn against him when he says no, stop, like change of plans. They're like, no, we're going to follow through with like the main plan. So they
So I,
turn
I
they
thought
turn
I
on him.
thought they listened to him to a T though. They did exactly what he like at all costs. Is that what you're talking about? That scene where she's where his mother dies and she's like, at all costs we have to get it.
Yeah, that was his original plan, but as soon as he changes course or sees that there is
Oh, okay.
uh
Maybe I missed that part. Okay.
yeah, he tries to get the his AI uh uh people to stop pursuing the
Okay.
permanence code, and to, I guess, like reel back, because like he started to see that they were getting out of hand, so he was
Hmm.
trying to get things back under control. But yeah, they weren't listening to him, and they actually attacked his mom, like you said, and she died. So yeah. Basically, oh, her last dying breath was like, "This is all your fault," or something like that.
Yes.
I was like, "Dang, they really went
No, that
there,"
was great. That's not happy ending Hollywood either. And the other thing that
Yeah.
they can sometimes do, I don't want to interrupt you, but sometimes they could do in these movies is once they get to that point where his like mom dies, he might try to help the heroes, like I was wrong. But no, he still was evil and doing his thing at the end too, I think,
Yeah, I don't
sometimes they
think
try to redeem them by because well, I made a mistake. Now I'm trying to help the heroes, but he kind of not where they left them off.
I don't even think he really cared too much, because he just sort of sat in disbelief holding his mom's dead body. Like
Yes.
he didn't reach out for help, he didn't start screaming and crying. He was just sort of like just there motionless looking at his mom's dead corpse. And as soon
Yes.
as uh uh he's the police start, swarming his compound or whatever, because they found out that he's responsible for the AI violence, things like that were happening in the city in pursuit of the Permians Code from Jared Leto and the female protagonist. Yeah, he escapes into the digital world somehow, and he's there at the end of the movie.
There's an
Uh,
end credit
yeah.
sequence. I was not expecting that for this movie.
Yeah, yeah, it was in there, and I didn't know what to make of it. I was like, "Oh, is the digital world like taking him as like, as a prisoner? Like is he like going to use his intelligence to come back into the real world and take
I
over?"
think I think Tron really has an epic villain now if they continue on. And my guess would be because he didn't succeed in the real world and he kind of effed up there, he's going to try to take over the program world. He's going to try to, that same energy, but in the program world now. And he's going to be a really hardcore villain next time. And maybe Ares will have to go back into the program to stop him because I don't know. I'm just speculating as where they could go, but it opened up a lot of possibilities. At the end, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting them more to be like a wrap up movie, and we'll give it one more shot. But I'm like, I said my I saw it with someone and I said, "Oh, I'm more excited about this than where they do the next Star Wars because Star Wars kind of like they keep doing the same kind of thing over and over again." I mean, yeah, they're going to do certain story points, but I'm really intrigued to where they go next. I hope they get to go now. I haven't. I got to look at the box office, and then it does bring up, um, you know, concerns I have with AI too, and great conversations about AI afterwards because we are dealing with AI day to day. I'm more open to it than I used to be. I definitely use AI too, but I'm more like me and my friend that we saw it with. I'm like, I'm more. Are you afraid of AI now? That's what we were talking about, and I'm like, I'm not afraid of AI. I'm still afraid of humans that prompt the AI or safeguards or not enough safeguards. So that's where my concern is, and that's kind of where the movie was too. Like, if there was one mistake that Evans Peters made, it was the way he prompted the AI, and even Jared Leto's Ares was like felt bad for the AI that was just following the prompts. At the end, what I forget her name, the actress that
Jodie
you just
Turner Smith.
Jodie Turner Smith. Yeah, he was cradling her. He's like, yeah, I know you were just doing what you're programmed to do. So that's my concern in the real world too. Is like, oh, I'm not. I'm more concerned with what humans do, not what with computers and programs and prompts do. Me personally. But after seeing that, what would you think if you have any concerns? I know you're very open to AI. If you had any concerns, what would it be with the AI itself or people? That's and I think this movie reaffirms my fear of people prompting it.
I guess I'm more concerned when there is just one source of benevolence or like
Okay,
ahead of, how AI is used. So Eve becomes that.
interesting.
She becomes this altruistic, or she is altruistic as far as like her her dream to fulfill her sister's, goal of using AI uh um to do things with like world hunger and resources and stuff like that. So at the end of the movie, there is like huge, like, bounds of progress that Eve makes with AI to how she discovered the permanence code was an orange tree that she grew in the Antarctic or Alaska, somewhere where it was like a bunch of snow, and she saw that the orange tree survived after for hours. So
Mhm.
and she continued to monitor it, and she saw that it was permanent. So she digitized this orange tree, brought it into the real world, and up until that point, they could only get uh, digital stuff to exist in the real world, like I said, for under 30 minutes. But yeah, when she discovered that the orange tree became permanent, fast forward to the end of the movie, and where I'm concerned, personally, where she's, the person who has discovered the solution to like world
Mhm.
hunger and like cures to, major diseases and things like that. So she kind of has control over over that information. And that was actually another plot point in the movie where like she saw the code, and she didn't memorize it like verbatim, but they chase after her because the code, she actually witnessed it, or she read it, and it's buried in her head where like it's still there where they can extract it from her memories. So she in herself is kind of the MacGuffin because she has the information that everyone is after for this
Mhm.
code. So yeah, like what I said about, the ending, her being sort of like the holder of that, all powerful information. um, I personally don't like when there's
Okay,
just, one like source of truth, or one source of
fair.
like,
Yeah,
goodness at the end of the movie, like an absolute good and an absolute bad. I don't
maybe
like when
that's
there's just one person,
no. That's
making
an
decisions
excellent
like
point.
that.
No, I wasn't sure how I felt about now that you're grazing concerns. Excellent points, Ray. Like, yeah, I was like that part of the ending. I was like, I know she has good intentions, but I like having one person be responsible for all that. I understand the concerns there too, and maybe that's the setup if they do continue. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's not what I was thinking about. Maybe it's just had good intentions, but she's just in control of everything and loses control. I don't know. There's lots of possibilities now. I think it goes above a little bit above average for these type of movies for some interesting conversations. It's not the most amazing movie ever on AI, but I think there's some interesting things in there. There's cool places it could go. But yeah, I agree with you there. Her just one person being control all that or all the and you did say she had good. They focused on the good parts of it, healing and things like that. There's still some major concerns with there. Uh, so What would you give it out of 10? I gave it a 9 out of 10. I don't foresee you going that high. What would you give it out of 10 uh as a rating?
I think I give it a 7.5 out of 10.
That's pretty decent. That's pretty decent. And the other reason I'm more excited about this than Star Wars is just like now there's like a history with Tron movies of just like, and this, you didn't get this with the original Tron movie, is amazing soundtracks, like some of the best soundtracks we've ever heard. uh it's, John Williams soundtrack's different, that's symphony, but this is like modern day epic soundtracks. We got, I gotta go back and get the Daft Punk one. I know even if you don't watch Tron Legacy, I know, I think you like Daft Punk. I think remember we're talking about music. That soundtrack is fire, and like I even beyond continuing the story, I want them, like, now that I used to say, if you don't get Daft Punk, don't even make it. You got to get them back out of retirement for the third one. And then they announced Nine Inch Nails. I'm like, oh wow, that's even potentially better. But who would they get for another Tron movie? That I want them to continue this talk about legacy of great musicians working on the soundtrack. It just makes it more exciting for me. Um, but yeah, I can't wait to rewatch it. Do you think you'll give this one another view? Is it rewatchable for you? I'm definitely going to watch it at least one more time in the theater if I can. Do you think there's enough there?
Um, I don't know if this is another theater watch for me. I would watch
Okay.
it if someone else is interested,
Yeah.
but I feel like there's not much there for me to
Okay.
feel interested to see it again as far as like performances. Like it's not super groundbreaking
Yeah.
as far as like uh Leto's character and Jodie Turner Smith's character, they are, they're very like stoic because, they are supposed to represent, digital AI, figures, and like the performances from the female protagonist, they were serviceable, like
Yeah. I think
I
she could
cared
have been
about her.
a little bit better.
Yeah, I cared about her because, she lost her sister and she's trying to
Yeah.
follow through with her sister's dream of helping the world. So I got that. And I think like I said earlier, Evan Peters' character is my favorite just because
Yeah.
he's a really good a villain. Like yeah, like he's known like if for his work with American Horror Story and as Dahmer. So yeah,
Oh, that's true. Yes.
he does play like a really good uh just yeah, menacing person for sure. So
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing too. So if they're the final thing I'll ask for you, Rhea, based on now that you're introduced to the Tron franchise, you said your favorite character is Evan Peters' character. Where they leave him off, are you intrigued to see a continuation, especially since it seems like with the end credit sequence, there may be a focus on his character and not the safeguards of like his mother or the rural or the moral. Well, he's morally corrupt anyway with what he does, but now that he's in the program world, he can have even more power. And then he's without his mother that put him constantly in check. Now she's gone. So that's really intriguing to me if you like his character, like what they're going to do with his character, what they're going to do with Ares. I'm more leaning towards Evan Peters' character the two, especially with the end credit sequence. So, are you intrigued to see a future with this franchise? Do you think there is life after this movie?
um I do like the idea of Evan Peters coming back as the super powerful AI,
Yeah,
antagonist. But because uh, Eve's character, the female protagonist, like she solves world hunger and cures all diseases, I'm like,
yeah.
this is like, where do you go from there?
Right. They
you
made it
know?
too clean. They made it too clean. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Which
yeah.
I think that's a setup. I'm like, you think this is going to be? But I mean, if they're able to make a sequel, it's got to make money, or Disney's not going to touch it. But
Yeah, I heard that this is just this is probably not surprising. I just didn't realize that Tron had, had rides at the
mhm.
Disney parks. I just was never interested in Tron. I did not care to look at their rides, or I didn't even look into, anything about the series or the IP. So folks are saying like, yeah, this is basically a commercial for the rides anyway, and they're gonna make some new ones in the parks soon. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. I'm
Yeah,
interested in uh the the visuals of the movie enough where like, oh, their vehicles are really cool, like their light bikes or whatever, that were driving around in the real world, those were cool. And then there some of the AI soldiers had like gliders that were
mhm.
also really cool. And then the little circle things that they're
The discs,
usually
yeah,
for the car, or sorry, the bikes, right? Those usually materialize into the bikes.
yeah,
But yeah, they're used as weapons in the movie, so I thought that was really cool too.
yeah. Cool, cool. Well, thanks for joining me on this, Ray. And they even gave an Easter egg, which people that haven't seen the franchise before. There's two characters from the second movie. Um, they showed a picture of Ares trying like might meet up with them, so they have that to revisit too if they get to make a sequel. Bring characters. Uh, um, Olivia Wilde, and I forget the actor's name. They were the stars in the second movie. So there is stuff there. But thanks for joining me and Rhea. Let us know your thoughts on Tron Ares in the comments section. Love to hear it. And I hope now, even just for the soundtrack, that we get a fourth movie or a series or a video game. I would love a great, have been Tron video games, but nothing like amazing. That would also, if someone really a really great developer could do something really cool with this IP too, beyond movies. But that's all I got. Thank you for watching.